This is Mburra.sports. This weekend we have UFC 213, Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko 2. For the bantamweight belt, Nunes looking for a second title defense. And we got in the co-main event, Yoel Romero versus Robert Whittaker for the interim middleweight title. Let's get right into this. In the Fight Pass prelims, I've got Rob Font knocking out Douglas De Silva de Andrade in the third round. Then I've got Joe Mearshot submitting Thiago Santos in the second round. And in the prelims, I have Travis Brown knocking out Alexei Oleinik in the first round. Chad the Priest winning by unanimous decision over Brian Camozzi. Curtis Blades knocking out Daniel Omilenchik. And I've got Jordan Mine beating Bilal Muhammad by unanimous decision. Let's get right into the main card. Kicking off the main card, we've got Anthony Pettis making his lightweight return against UFC veteran Jim Miller. Let's look at Anthony Pettis. His last fight at featherweight for the interim featherweight title, he lost to Max Holloway by TKO. But if you look at that, Max Holloway's been on a tear. He's on a 11-fight winning streak right now and is the featherweight champion who just beat Jose Aldo. The last guy to beat Holloway was Conor McGregor. And the fight before that, his featherweight debut, he submitted Charles Oliveira in the third round. And then the fight before that, he lost to Edson Barboza by unanimous decision. And then Jim Miller, last fight against Dustin Poirier, he lost a pretty close fight, majority decision. He beat Thiago Alves by unanimous decision and beat Joe Lozon by split decision. I think Pettis is going to make a return and he's going to be back in the rankings. I think Anthony Pettis is the better fighter, and I think he's going to outclass Jim Miller and win by unanimous decision. Next, we've got a heavyweight showdown between number one contender and former champion Fabricio Werdum versus number 3 and the most decorated striker in the heavyweight division, Alistair Overeem. Let's see this. Fabricio Werdum, his last fight, a flawless unanimous decision victory over Travis Brown. And then he got knocked out to lose his belt to Stipe Miocic, the current champion in the first round. Then he submitted Cain Velasquez to win the belt in the third round. But then we look at Alistair Overeem. He just knocked out the coconut head, hard to knock out Mark Hunt in the third round due to knees. And then he got knocked out by Stipe Miocic in Cleveland. But Miocic's been on a tear. He has 2 title defenses so far. Andrei Arlovsky, he won by TKO in the second round. When I break this down, I think Overeem, he's just more well-rounded. And I think in the heavyweight division, usually it's the better striker who usually comes out on top. I think it's going to be Alistair Overeem by a second round knockout or TKO. Co-main event, the interim middleweight title, the fight to see who fights the champion in a unification bout, Michael Bisping, later this year. So we got Yoel Romero, the soldier of God, one of the scariest guys in the whole UFC. His last fight against Chris Weidman, his flying knee knockout, proves that. And then the fight before that, he beat Jacare Souza by split decision. And the fight before that, he beat Lyoto Machida by a third round knockout. And then you got Robert Whittaker. For his last fight, he knocked out Jacare Souza in the second round, knocked out Derek Brunson in the first round, and beat Rafael Natal by unanimous decision. Looking at this fight, these are 2 scary guys in this weight class. I mean, the top of the middleweight weight class is Murderer's Row. It is. Breaking this down, these guys are 2 really good strikers, but I believe that Yoel Romero is going to mix up his wrestling, and he's going to pummel Whittaker and then wear him down, and I think he's going to get a third round knockout. I'm taking Romero by a third round knockout. We move to the main event, the rematch. The bantamweight belt on the line this time. The bantamweight champion and Amanda Nunes versus number 1 contender Valentina Shevchenko. Let's look at this. Amanda Nunes, last fight was against Ronda Rousey, where she murked Ronda Rousey by a first round TKO of 48 seconds. Then she beat Miesha Tate to win the belt by a first round submission, where she broke Miesha Tate's nose. And then the fight before that was the first fight between these 2 ladies when Amanda Nunes beat Valentina Shevchenko. Now let's look at Shevchenko. Shevchenko's coming off a submission win against Juliana Pena. Before that, she got one of the biggest wins of her career, a unanimous decision victory against the former champion, Holly Holm. And then in the fight before that was her loss to Amanda Nunes. So this is a rematch. Both these girls are phenomenal strikers. Nunes with punching hard and Shevchenko with Muay Thai. Their first fight, Nunes started out strong. She had the first 2 rounds really well, but towards the end of the second round, Nunes was starting to fade and Shevchenko was starting to trend up, and this is a 5-round fight. I don't think Nunes can finish Shevchenko. Shevchenko is a harder female to hit. She's a harder target to hit, so I don't think there's going to be a finish between any of these ladies. I think Amanda Nunes is going to have 2 great rounds and gas out. I think Amanda Nunes is going to win the first 2 rounds, and then I think Shevchenko is going to take over after Nunes gasses out and wins the next 3 rounds. And I think Shevchenko is going to win by unanimous decision, and I think Valentina Shevchenko will be the new champion. This is Mburra.sports. Leave your predictions down below in the comments. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter for my more day-to-day content at Mburra.sports. Make sure to leave a like or a dislike. This is Mburra.sports.